entitled as The Battle of the Century, written by Gerry Conway and illustrated by Ross Andru, along with John Romita Sr. and Neal Adams. John Romita Sr. and Neal Adams were uncredited, but it was a milestone to say the least. Seeing both flagship characters duking it out against each other thanks to Lex Luthor and Dr. Octopus. Imagine what kind of a story this turned out to be. So, this deserves to be recreated. Now you can get all of your superhero stuff from Noon and Namshi, not only in Saudi Arabia but other countries of the GCC. All you need is to use my promo code SOJ1 on both Noon and Namshi. But remember, my Noon code works only for cashbacks in Saudi Arabia and UAE, whereas my Namshi code works for the entire GCC region. So you're looking for superhero t-shirts, you're looking for action figures, you're looking for accessories, anything you name it, you can get it straight up from Noon and Namshi. And the best part about it is you either get cashback or you get good discounts. Hi everyone, today I'm showcasing my Superman action figure, which is pre-McFarlane Toys action figure, and my first ever Spider-Man action figure from Marvel Legends. This one is by Toy Biz. Now why do you see these two together is because both of them are flagship characters, but there is something a bit deeper when it comes to the history of these two. The first ever crossover that took place between DC and Marvel happened in the mid-70s. One of the reasons I got really interested was because of listening to Robservation podcast, which is a podcast by Rob Liefeld, the guy who co-created X-Force, Deadpool, Cable, and one of the biggest stars from the 90s, one of the most popular artists from the 90s, a contemporary of Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri. When these guys came in, they just took the industry by storm. And the thing is that, I always knew about this crossover issue, but the thing is that Rob Liefeld, I think he was a teenager at that time. I think he was 13 years of age, and he basically shared the experience as to how big of a deal it was. It wasn't just like one fine day the publishers decided to have a crossover comic. A lot of elements came in, and a lot of people who worked on it were uncredited. On this special video about my toy collection, I'm going to be trying it to see if I can recreate that cover that made the fans go crazy, and let's see how it goes. So when we look at these action figures, this Spider-Man reminds me of Mark Bagley's art from the 90s. I wish I had the version of the action figure that was based more on the Keith Pollard, John Romita, and Ross Andru version of Spider-Man. But I believe Hasbro have launched their retro series, and I think one of the figures is based on those drawings. This to me is like pre-McFarlane Toys Superman action figure that does remind me of a combination of Neal Adams and John Byrne's Superman. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to recreate these two in the similar pose as we had seen in the famous cover. So here you see is my broken LED stand that can serve as that control tower which we had seen in the cover. So now I'm going to try to give Superman that pose. Unfortunately, I don't have any hanging support right now that can basically allow me to hang these action figures. So this is pretty much what Superman was posing for in that cover. So, but it is doable. If I get a hanging support, I can simply use special strings that come in that are not visible to the eye of the camera, and basically it can help me recreate the scene. So Superman, I've done it here in that specific pose. Now comes Spider-Man. So Spider-Man was like this. So I can hold Spider-Man from his leg here at the bottom. and I can hold Superman from here. So this is what I usually love doing with my action figures. That's my passion. I just want to recreate all of the best comic book covers, all of the best panel art that has been published inside the comic book pages, because I don't know, I mean, like recreating those sequence of events, it just gives a kind of satisfaction that I can't describe in much detail. But a milestone such as this one deserved to be talked about, and which is why I shared it with you. Please make sure that you check out this issue. It was one of the best issues, one of the best writers that have written. All of the credits are going to be mentioned, who wrote it, who were the illustrators, who were the uncredited contributors to this particular issue. I hope once my studio is fully stacked up, I'm going to be recreating the exact cover as many of us have seen it on the internet, and I sure hope one day I get to own that comic. If you like this video, please make sure to like it, please make sure to share it, and subscribe to my channel.